my mum's my world, she's my best friend. Constantly I was just worried about how she was feeling during all of this, and likewise she was the same. That like developed a relationship where we was treading around eggshells around each other, especially with everyone around home. Having just say one singular purpose, one singular goal. Just like being on the chemo suite, it was just finished chemo. With this it was I am going to give everything I have got. I wasn't going to let nothing stop me. That's where I found I do have a drive. It's what he always used to drive into me, like, I've had cancer, like what can I not do now?
Hello and welcome to the Thrive Against Cancer podcast, where we give a voice to the cancer community. My name is Toby Freeman, founder and CEO of the Robin Cancer Trust, cancer advocate and your host. Every episode, we will be hosting open and honest conversations with people affected by cancer, whether personally, as a family member, clinician, or charities and organisations. We will be talking to the cancer community about the cancer community and all the things that are important to you. Our guest today battled testicular cancer when he was just 19. He loves openly discussing the taboo subject of checking our privates and the importance of doing so. He's been on TV, winning BBC Three's Go Hard or Go Home, featuring Ashley Cain, and creates content working closely with charities promoting cancer awareness in teens and young men. He's now 26 and is immensely proud of who he is and what he's become. Our guest today is Dylan. Dylan, I love that. I love that last bit as well, and I want to dive into all of that and why you're so proud of who you are and who you've become. Okay. But maybe we go all the way back to you being a young pup of 19 and where this whole journey began.
I've watched a really sad Netflix documentary today. I'm really emotional, so if I cry, bear with me.
No worries at all.
So I was 19 and I found a lump on my left testicle, and being a 19-year-old stubborn lad, I didn't think anything of it. I thought it'd go away. I just kept it to myself. I must have had the lump for about 8 or 9 months. And then as my memory, my memory can't piece it together, but it's whether it either went or I just completely forgot about it. And I can't distinguish the two. But then again, it came back in about November time, something around there. And it got caught on with my family. My family found out, my missus at the time found out. And then, everything just fell apart from then, really. It went from, let's just go to the doctor, see what it is. It probably nothing. I went to the GP, and I can't thank my GP enough. Honestly, the best treatment I've ever received. I went in, and every man would worry about it, getting your piece out in front of a doctor. Yeah. It's not the most comfortable feeling, but it had to be done. It was my life on the line. The doctor checked, and straight away he said it had signs that it needs to be checked out. It could be sinister. And it was the same day I went to the hospital. So it was very, very, very quick.
Wow.
Went to the hospital that day. They got me into an appointment. I had loads of scans, blood tests, ultrasound, and it was on the ultrasound that they found that my lump was testicular cancer. Sorry. Yeah, man, and it turned my world upside down. It really did, and that's the only way I can describe it. Is it literally everything I thought about life? I thought I knew it all. I thought I had the trajectory was going right. I was saving my money. I was a young lad. My life was going in the right places, and all that changed overnight. I had to go to a sperm bank to go and deposit sperm because I was going to be having my left testicle removed. I was hoping I wouldn't need chemotherapy after that. Bear in mind, all of this is in a week process. I've been diagnosed. 2 days later, I'm depositing sperm, signing my life away, so to speak. I had the operation to remove my left testicle, and then after that, I was told that although the operation was successful, the cancer still remained. And final to treat that, I'd need a BEP chemotherapy. For those who don't know, that is really intensive chemotherapy. I had my first week was 3 days, back to back of 8 hours, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And that was really intensive. That went on for about 5 weeks. So really intensive chemotherapy. And that's where the identity issues really started to creep in, and I didn't know who I was anymore. All I can talk is it was just complete autopilot. People talk about what they were going to do and their plan. I didn't know anything. I was just breathing.
Yeah.
I wish I could say I was a really strong bloke and I was fighting my way through it, but I was just given the medicine and I just took it. It changed me as a man. I think if anything, it took me back. If anything, I went into myself. I became very quiet, very unconfident, and a big problem that I faced was a lot of my family were treating me like glass, and that's something that it really affected me in the long run, because I believe that it was self-fulfilling prophecy. I was told I was glass so much that I was glass then. I was a fragile and had no fight, had nothing left in me. And
that's a big change from that 8 to 9 months. What was going through your head in that 8 to 9 months, if you don't mind? So like ignoring
ignoring the lump was obviously your first thought is, although it's not, I can't explain that any other way than it's not your fault, but it is your fault. It's like creeping in the back of your mind that it was cancer. And a part of me knew it was cancer, and looking back on it, I can distinguish that now. I know that. But I just didn't believe it. Yeah. So I think it was so much anxiety, it created inaction. And then I didn't know what to do with that.
That's so interesting, that anxiety creating inaction, isn't it?
Yeah. I know what my well-being deserved for that to go and get checked. That was the best thing for me to do.
Yeah.
But a part of me was burying my head in the sand, and the problem's not real then. And then, I think that's a problem a lot of people face. And
do you think that regression you had was amplified by the fact that you've gone, I've ignored? Like, don't mind me asking.
Yeah, no, of course. I think so. I think it was, well, I've never looked, that's quite deep. I've never looked into it like that. But yeah, it's very true. I think a part of me blamed myself for going through the treatment. I had to, because obviously the doctors couldn't stop telling me that if I'd have come sooner, it'd have been the operation and I'd have just walked straight out and I'd have been all right. And if anything, out of the whole process, the donating sperm, being sat down by the Macmillan nurse, anything, the hardest part was getting over chemotherapy. It wasn't undergoing it. It wasn't the before. It was all post-treatment. That is where all my problems began. It was, you have a light at the end of the tunnel, which is complete chemo. And then I'm here now, It's like, I forgot what it's called now. It was with like Tyson Fury when he had his fight and then he got there and that was it. He didn't know what else to do then. It didn't feel as good as he wanted it to do. And I suppose that was for me. I had my sights just on finishing my treatment. And then when I got there, it was like, oh, well, all this bad trauma is still there. It's not just been left behind. And then unpacking that is, say, I'm 5 years into remission now. It rang that bell, thank God. But I'm still unpacking it now. Like 5 years down the line, I can't tell you that I've fully healed from cancer, and I haven't, and I don't know if I ever will. But I think learning to accept that has made this journey easier. That I am going to experience trouble and I am going to hit bumps in the road. But I know that now. Yeah. And it makes it a lot easier to tackle, rather than just trying to stop that from happening, trying to prevent the inevitable. That's what was causing me chaos.
There's a lot there to unpack.
Sorry.
No, I'm making notes. There's so much there, isn't there? I mean, like, let's just dive back into the chemo, the treatment. As you were going through that, you said you felt like you were just going with that. And when you're in that, does it feel safe when you're in that? Because the doctors are just going, do this, take this, get prodded here. And you're just like, I'm at the will of the doctors. Is that a safe space?
Yeah, definitely. I can't credit the NHS enough for that. I know we hear bad things, but during my treatment, they were absolutely amazing. Yeah. Luckily for me, it was just before COVID was creeping in. Right. So luckily I didn't have any of the restrictions during my treatment. But yeah, I did feel safe. The nurses and staff there, they did their job like impeccably. My job was just to sit in that chair and take it. Yeah. But yeah, like feeling safe or not feeling safe was just not even in. It's not even in the forefront of my mind. I honestly can't. It's autopilot. It's completely autopilot. Just got there. Just turn up.
Yeah, and that singular, you said light at the end of the tunnel, were you just focused on, they're telling me it's going to be a regimen of this, I'm going to get through this, and then life will carry on, expecting previous Dylan just to
come back in. And that's what I told myself so much, that it was just, I was going to be back to my 19-year-old self, just got to catch up for 6 or 9 months, you know what I mean? It'll be all right. But I was a completely different person, complete change. My outlook on life, like I joke around and say I've got an outlook of a 70-year-old. You know what I mean? I've looked death in the eyes.
Yeah.
I understand that life is precious.
Yeah.
So things that may irritate someone who hasn't experienced that, I don't understand the terror that can give them sometimes, because I quantify my problems, and then something like that is so tiny for me. But then I have to check myself and understand that you can drown in a puddle, you can drown in a pond. Who am I to tell you what you should struggle with, you know? So it's not, and I'm never in a position of, well, I've been through more than you. 'Cause it's never that. It's never that. It's more that I wish I could give you this understanding.
Yes.
And then that might help you.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that makes sense.
It absolutely does. I heard someone said experience breeds empathy.
Yes.
You know, you have to go through something to be able to understand it. And actually,
definitely.
You've gone through, like you say, a lifetime of experience condensed down to a 19-year-old, where I imagine if I was anything, you're anything like me, you're 19.
Yeah, I'm 19.
Your mates aren't having the same issues with their mortality.
No, not at all. They're just going out, getting pissed, having the time of their life, sending the odd message, hope you're okay, mate. Yeah. What else can they do, really? They got to live their lives. They shouldn't bow down to how I live my life, to in accordance to what I say. And it's something I do struggle with. It's a silent battle of mine. Sometimes I wish I could just shake people and just, but then again, it's not my job to do that. But I think that breeds frustration from what I've been through, and to say that again, that's just something that I'm unpacking 5 years down the line. But I've got a lot better at it, and a lot less angry at the world. I think I was very angry at the world, like, why me? Especially in the first 2 years into remission. It's very much like, why did I have to go through that? Why me? And then here I am now, and I feel, as mad as it sounds, I feel lucky that I've been through that. I wouldn't change my cancer for the world. Like, as much as it tore my life apart, I rebuilt something so magnificent. I'm so appreciative of life. Now I get to live how many years I get left on this planet. I live appreciative of every single second. So I'm grateful for that.
That is an amazing outlook that, I think a lot of people maybe never get. So it's good to take the gratitude along with that. So who were you when you came out of chemo? You went in, life is great, everything's buzzing, you feel like you've got everything in order. You said you were saving. Was that?
Yeah.
I know we wanted to talk about maybe finance.
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah. So I think go on the record that when I was 19, I was the loudest kid in the room. Always out on the town, always having a drink. Just if something fun was happening, I was there. I was in the middle of it. And I loved being around people. Absolutely loved it. I was such a social butterfly. Then going into post-treatment, I'd finished my chemotherapy. COVID decided to creep in. The lockdowns were beginning. And obviously I was extra vulnerable then at the time because my immune system was shot to chemo. I couldn't go out. I couldn't see my friends. People wanted to come see me, obviously, to celebrate that I'd just finished chemo. Couldn't happen. So when everyone else was locked down for 2 years, I was locked down for 3 because I had to stay inside to keep myself safe. And I think that's, looking into it, that's what really broke me. That isolation, that I wanted to go and get my life back, but I was actually unable to. And then that allowed just your mind just to be the loudest voice in the room.
Yeah.
And that's something that I always struggled with. I was saving for a mortgage at the time when I was 19. So I started my apprenticeship, painter and decorator, at 17. And every little bit of money, I'd just make sure I had some money behind me. I was always taught that. And I'd built up nothing substantial, but for a 19-year-old, it was a good figure to have behind them. And obviously, it's one of my pet peeves with cancer treatment is that nothing is frozen. Life still goes on. Financially, all my bills still had to come out. I was paying things off, paying for my car. That doesn't stop. You can ring them up and tell them what's happening. They'll maybe give you a grace period of a month or two, but that's all you're going to get. So all my life savings at that point were gone. They were shot. I had to pull out credit cards to pay bills. Financially, I was completely overturned. I was in a bad place, and of course, if anyone's ever experienced financial issues, it's devastating on the mind. And having that on top of post-chemotherapy treatment, even starting to process the fact that I'd not even processed that I had cancer. It still felt like a fever dream. It wasn't real. It wasn't something I was able to process, whether I wanted to or couldn't. I don't know. And that, even now, so 5 years later, I've just about managed to get myself back on my feet. I can say that I'm debt-free now, yay, and that's amazing. But there was other than obviously you get the odd grant just so you can get some like washing essentials and stuff like that, which I'm ever so grateful for. That I'd never turn that away. That was the biggest help ever. I could contribute a tiny amount, and I suppose that's what goes into my feeling like glass. The fragility of it all was the fact that I couldn't contribute. I'm very like old-fashioned in the sense that I'm a man and I want to provide for my family. I want to look after them, and I couldn't. And sorry. Oh, yeah, and that hurt me. That hurt me. Sorry. Yeah, man, and it felt like a lot of years wasted, a lot of hard work just gone. And I know that's what savings are for. They're for the times that happened, but I still feel robbed of time, and that's something I'm still working with.
And that's a lot going on as well. I mean, not only have you gone through that, it's the stuff that's so out of your control. Like just a global pandemic hitting at the worst time.
Yeah, it picked this moment.
And then, unfortunately, it's that slow. The spiral might be the wrong word, but it's compounding, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd say spiral. It just continuously built up.
The mental health, the isolation, which our community was telling us all the time. The financial stuff, which is amplified by the pandemic. You can't go out and earn any money, can you?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, no matter what you're doing. How did you start? Because that's a hell of a place to be in. What was there a moment where you felt you started to rebuild, or what was the thought process as you were going through that?
Quite honestly, I was very broken up until like 3 years into my remission. It wasn't something that I chose to click. Luckily,
we're talking like 22, 21, 22, are we? Like year is what I mean.
Yeah, but probably end of 22, 23, something like that, maybe.
Pandemic just froze.
Honestly, the years that segment of time just doesn't exist. So yeah, it was after COVID. Life was coming back to normal now, and luckily for me, I got a random DM one day on Instagram from BBC asking me if they wanted me to go on a show about mental health and well-being and improving your physical health. And at the time, like, it couldn't have come at more perfect time. I was in a rut. I did not think of myself in one positive light. I didn't want to be sorry, it's really hard to say. I didn't want to be here anymore. My life had felt completely like devalued. I didn't see anything in it other than, I was grateful that I had a second chance, but I had nothing to do with it. I couldn't grab it like I wanted to. And I went on this show called Go Hard or Go Home, and quite honestly, it changed my life. It was a competitive reality show where we just did fun physical challenges, and we done a lot of like meditating and working on ourselves and being away from like my friends, my family, completely cut off from the world for like 6-7 weeks. It changed me as a person. I found fitness. Fitness is so important, integral to my life now, that I never had that before. And I suppose I made a man out of myself. I could rely on myself for the first time. I was confident in my own abilities because I've shown myself that I could do it. And working with Ashley Cain, he was like my mentor on the show. What an incredible bloke. Like, we know his story, and absolutely amazing. He's incredible. And yeah, he pulled me out of the dirt, man. He really did. He took me, like, he gave me his hand, and I held on for dear life, but he pulled me up.
I've seen obviously seen the clips, and you and him had some very raw conversations.
Very raw, yeah.
For people who may not know Ashley, he's big in the cancer world. He lost his daughter, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
And he advocates
massively
hard.
He does a lot of charity work. Yeah, incredible bloke. He really is.
What did you learn about yourself? What were the, like, if you look back, what were the things that you were like, that's what made me a man? Because that's a big statement. Yeah. What were the things?
I think for me, it was the realisation I was already the man that I wanted to be, and I just couldn't see that. And that was such a turning point, that for the first time in my life, that I wasn't reliant on the fact that I was a cancer survivor. Like, I felt like it was my only identity, that I was the kid with cancer. And like, don't get me wrong, it still is now. Like, people still know me as the kid who had cancer, and that's okay. Like, that's fine. But I built up for myself that, say, as I said earlier, I could be confident and I could rely on myself I've got situations, like concrete evidence to back up I am exactly who I say I am. And doing these challenges, even though they might have seemed silly on TV, in the moment, like, I wanted that gold. I'm coming home for gold. That's it. And like that hunger and that drive, that like the competitive drive that brought something out in me, that is just, it's created a monster now. And now I'll take on anything. I'm not the nerves, anxieties. Of course, I still have them. Yeah. But they're so much more controlled. And like doing something like this, God, you could never have done, like 2-3 years ago. You'd have to drag me, crowbar me in, and I'm happily on my way down to you, you know. So,
do you think it's the focus and the purpose? Do you think that plays a part in it? The singular focus when you're on the show, as you say, it might seem silly, but you're singularly focused on it. You're not thinking about all the other distractions.
I weren't thinking about back home. I weren't for, like, as I say, a lot of the times you're worrying about, like, my mum. Like, my mum's my world. She's my best friend, and constantly I was just worrying about how she was feeling during all of this, and likewise she was the same. And I think that, like, developed a relationship where we was treading around eggshells around each other, especially everyone around home. And having just say one singular purpose, one singular goal. Just like being on the chemo suite, it was just finished chemo. With this, it was I am going to give everything I've got, like everything. I had injuries, and I just kept on working through them. Like, I wasn't going to let nothing stop me. And then that's where I found, like, I do have a drive. And I think it's only just snowballed into something greater now.
That's brilliant. Like you say, the cancer doesn't go anywhere, does it? No. Like, but it goes from being your whole, you are the cancer patient, to just being a part of. I've drawn a little terrible diagram here. Like, it becomes a part of your identity. But that's okay.
I find it amplifies it now, rather than, like, being just this dead weight. The only way I could describe it is, like, have you ever heard, like, the grief in a box? So how, like, the ball gets smaller and bigger as time goes on, and it hits the walls, and that's when a trigger happens. Like, I suppose it was grieving myself and who I was. Like, it was coming to terms with the fact that I'm not who I once was, but I'm going to be greater than that. And that is, coming to terms with that is so hard, because you sit, like, say, 19 years of my life, I've set my life out. Like, I was very, like, forward focused as a 19-year-old. So I knew where I wanted to be and what I wanted to do. And so I've lost track of it there. Sorry.
Well, I just love the idea of it's not the idea, it happened. The example of you finding a lot out about yourself and realizing that that's better than it was before. Even though you've gone through all this stuff, you're like, actually, there's loads to Dylan left. There's loads to give. This has happened. And I imagine having a mentor like Ashley must have been so powerful. Because
incredible.
Not only has he literally gone through something so raw and so, you know, similar in that way of that loss, that grief. But, like, he's a powerhouse. Right?
He's an absolute unit.
Physically and mentally, like, he's a powerhouse.
Chiseled Greek
right?
god.
But having that role model.
Oh, definitely.
You know, that's the power of positive masculinity.
Oh, definitely.
I would say.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Like,
if you can pick yourself up after losing your daughter,
I'll
get on.
Do with anything. And that's what he always used to drive into me. Like, I've had cancer. Like, what can I not do now? Like, I've gone through one of the hardest things a human will have to go through. I've done it. I've done it. I'm on the other side of it now. So, like, and I take that with me everywhere. Like, it's so easy for me to quantify problems in my life now, because I can reference the pain that I was, like, undergoing. And it's there's so much more to just cancer. There's so much more than just I went through treatment. Like, friends that I've lost, friendships that people I don't even speak to anymore. Like, they obviously just didn't know what to say to me. And then, like, I felt like it wasn't my job to build a bridge from that. And then so you just walk away. Say finances. My finances were crippled. My relationships, like, my relationship crippled. And, like, you know, that's okay. I'm on to better things now. I'm very happy in my life. But everything is such... I think a lot of people they see cancer and they just think, it's just treatment and then it's all done. And it's so far from the truth. It's so, and I want to shake people and just make them understand that, because I wish it was as simple as that. But, like, so for people to say, like, you're probably over it now, it's been 5 years, and it still feels like yesterday. I can just, like, say we were talking about earlier, I can still smell the hospital. Like if I go into any medical practice, a dentist, anything of the sort, and you get that sanitary smell, takes me right back, and it's so scary. Like the weirdest trigger I have is I used to use an oat and honey body shop cream when I was on chemotherapy. For those who don't know, on chemotherapy, your skin becomes like sandpaper. Anything to touch is so sensitive. So I'd use this honey cream to get me through it. And I've walked past the body shop once and then just got a whiff of that cream. And I just broke down crying in the middle of like Northampton Town Centre, and I must look mental. Like I'm like honey and oats.
This guy can't afford to go in a body shop.
Yeah, just go, please buy me that cream. Yeah, so there's triggers all over the shop, and it's not linear as people think. It's not a start and a finish. There's so many turn-ins. It's a lot, man. It's a lot, and I think for people to even have a little understanding of that can help when their friends go through it. Because that's a lot of the questions I do get is people ask me, like, oh, my friend's been diagnosed with this, blah, 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 blah. Like, what should I do? And the first thing I say to them is treat them like you would have yesterday. Just talk to them like they understand they're going through cancer. You don't need to tell them that. Yeah, if you're going to be a crutch for someone, just be the person you was.
Yeah.
Because what we all want is just normality. That's all we're fighting for back. We just want our lives back. So I'm not saying don't address the elephant in the room. It's obviously okay to do that, but like give people some normality. Don't make it the center of conversation. I think that's something I struggled with, and that's what I give the advice of. That's all we spoke about for like 2-3 years, and we still do now. Like it's still brought up in conversation now, and like I'm very aware that I was bald and fat and lost a bollock. Like I'm very aware of that. It happened.
And it's okay for your mates to remind you of that.
Yeah, the group chat loves it sometimes. That's a perfect example. Like humour. Like I used to laugh about my cancer. It was funny. Like I'd have my mates photoshopping pizza, like pictures of me on a pizza, and say "Chemo pizza," finding chemo. Like you name it, they did it.
That's good.
They did it, and it was like it helped, man. It helped. So bring that normality. Be the especially in the lad culture, be the lad that they always want, because that's all they need at the minute.
Yes, that again, it's taking what could be perceived as a negative, but it is a positive.
Oh, it's such a positive.
Yeah, it's such an abnormal situation.
Yeah, it is, man. Like,
ridiculous. I'm going to pump myself full of a bunch of poisons to cure myself. Someone's going to cut a bit of me off, and I'm going to look completely different, feel completely different. Just give me some sense.
It's mad. It's mad. It's not normal. Like I think like humour can cure a lot of things, man. And I think bringing humour to the forefront of your mind is such a powerful emotion that you just forget the struggles in that moment. So even if it's like a 30-second laugh or you're all just joking around, like for 30 seconds, you've just brought someone out of hell. And there's something so powerful with that. So if you've got a friend that's got a good bit of banter about them, banter them into the ground, because they'll want that.
Oh, yeah, that's brilliant. If you could take your, so you won. We skipped.
Oh, we did.
You won this.
I did. I'm a winner. Brought it home.
Yeah. What was the? I mean, what led to winning? Let's do that, just in case people haven't seen it.
Okay.
And then what was that like, winning that moment for you, going, holy crap, I've taken. I could, from where you were to just getting to where being part of the show.
Yeah, it's incredible, right?
Huge.
Yeah.
And then you've gone through the whole thing. You found out all these moments about yourself. Yeah, what was winning like?
Very surreal. Obviously, I know. It's just a reality TV show. Like, let's not make. I didn't win the Olympics. Didn't bring gold home, but like the emotive side, the connection I had to it made it a lot more real, and made it a lot. Just one of my biggest achievements. Once I got down to like the final, like 5, I told myself I was winning. There was no way. I ran.
Did you? Yeah. You're like,
I just knew. I can't. I know that might sound a bit obnoxious, but I just knew. I remember I got like 1 or 2 phone calls during the whole show, and I rang my mate Brandon, who we well have I've mentioned him now. And he said, don't come home unless you bring it home. Nice. And I said, I've got you, mate. Yeah. I've got you. And I did just that. So I was like, people were sitting down, eating their food, relaxing. I was up in my room, locked away, working out. And like whether that sounds obnoxious or not, that was the difference. I was hungrier. So I got my cake.
Nice. I love that. And like, when you went back into the world afterwards, that confidence just stayed with you. Yeah.
Oh God, it's just stayed with me. Yeah. I can't lie, if we're being frank, it's fell off not fell off. It chips away slowly, doesn't it? Obviously, but when I first got off that show, I was just glowing. I was just glowing. There's nothing could have got me down. Nothing. I took it with me. I brought fitness home. Now fitness is still part of my life now. Like I train 5 days a week minimum. That's a non-negotiable in my life. If I want to stay mentally right, I've got to be physically right first. So bringing that home with me was everything I needed. Everything I needed to help me create the person I wanted to be. And I found that just simply by like lugging some weights about. I do a bit of running, not as good as you though. Unfortunately, mate, I ain't got the legs for it.
You can borrow the bollocks.
Is that all right? Yeah. Know what it feels like again.
Oh dear, and yeah, you know, you've gone into this. You've come out the side a different person. What was your purpose that you wanted to drive forward from that moment? Like, that's a big thing. Did you dip afterwards, or you said you were buzzing? Was there?
Yeah. I've had a few dips along the road. I think that's normal. I think it's very human of me. Would I say I'm currently in a dip? Maybe I'd say I'm in a dip right now. I think my job, I work a lot of hours. I'm very tired. Also, like I've took a bit of a hiatus on like my content creating, which makes me sad. I used to always like push out content and raise awareness. With this job, I just physically haven't got the time. Like, it's my dream to. I'm so sorry. That was awful.
It's all right. We can edit.
Yeah, it was always my dream to say promote cancer awareness, and especially in young men and teens. It's very important to me. And luckily, that I've got a plethora of a portfolio on TikTok where people can just. I've answered every question I could, you know, and I suppose that's what made me stop. I was getting to a point where I was just copy and pasting my questions, and that was what I found tough. Say working all the hours that I do, it just became impossible. So I prioritised myself and fitness, and that's what I'm doing at the minute. And yeah, doing that. I don't know whether it's been beneficial to me or not, and that's what I'm still working out. I think being a crutch for other people was amazing for me. It gave me a purpose to, you know, get up online every day and help someone out. But I felt like I was neglecting myself in that process. And yeah, that's something I'm battling right now. I think I'll find my feet with content creating again. Definitely, I definitely want to raise awareness. Like, my dream is to do this full time and just talk about cancer like, all the time. Like, I just love talking about cancer. But
Me too.
I mean, it's important to, right?
Yeah.
And so that's something I'm juggling right now. But other than that, yeah, I have such a control on my life that I've never ever had. Like, I can put me in a room against anything, and I'm 99% sure I'll walk away, or I've given it a good try.
So the dips don't worry you, because you know spiral.
Yeah, exactly. I won't let that spiral again.
It's an acceptance of what it is, and then
just work through them feelings, man. Instead of like trying to fight how I felt. And I think that's something that I'd pass down to anyone. Is just feel the feelings from it. It's okay to be in the dumps for a moment. You got to feel them feelings. You got to work through them. If you don't know what they are, you can't fight it. So I figure out what I'm fighting, figure out what I'm working through, and then action in place, bang, do it.
So where did that come from? Because that's a process. How did you discover that process? Because do you mind me asking if you've ever had therapy or professional help? Because that sounds like a process that would help a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely. I've had therapy in my voice break. I've had therapy in my times. I did CBT, this cognitive behavioural therapy. Absolutely hated it. Absolutely hated it. For me, it didn't work. It was giving me homework outside of like my life, and I didn't need that. I was juggling enough as it is, so that didn't work for me. What I found working for me was just talking to someone who wasn't my mum, someone who wasn't my friend, someone who wasn't in my life, and I could just be rawly and truly honest about how I felt without judgment. And yeah, it helped fantastically for me, but it got to a point where it became degrading. I felt I was working through too much sadness. It'd make me sad, if that makes sense. For me, I found, which I did actually, funny enough, pick up from CBT, was just acknowledging pain and then acting on it. And that's helped me massively. So that segment of it, I love that so much. Yeah. Like, it's helped massively. But I suppose to fight it and it's just that attitude. I suppose that's the monster that I developed during on the show. It was I was never that, but I've always been determined. I've always been like driven. Say the 19-year-old, he knew what he wanted.
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose that's something that I've organically made myself through fitness and through trialing myself. I find that if I have barriers, I want to push them open. I want to extend the barriers and constantly give myself more and more and more. If I'm pushing through and breaking them down, putting myself in uncomfortable situations where I probably wouldn't prosper, and then I find out that I do prosper, like that is so important. It's integral for me to become who I want to become, is putting myself in uncomfortable situations and flourishing.
Who do you want to become?
Well, I like to think I'm already there. I'm becoming who I want to become, but me is just, so I want to be someone people can rely on. That's very important for me. God, that's very deep. It's very deep, Toby.
Like therapy in here.
Who do I want to become? Yeah, someone can rely on. I want to be myself, true to it, and I like to think I can do that, and I do it. God, who do I want to become? Toby, man, that's such a crazy. You just say that, don't you? Like, this is the man I want to become, and then you've asked me like, what do I actually want to become? And now I'm stuck. Yeah, I always want to be better. So where I am now was better than when I was 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And where I was 6 months ago, I want it to be better than where I was 6 months before that. And I suppose that's my drive, is the fact that I know I can always improve and I can always be better and I can always be a better man. So finding the barriers, as we said, that's what helps me improve in doing that. So I find if I do more uncomfortable things, I become better and I can handle things. So then when people come to me with problems, I can show them how to like work through that, I suppose. So I like learning from experience to pass on to others. Yeah.
It's like, and I mean this in the most positive way, it's like being selfish to be altruistic.
Oh, what a word! Vocabulary. Did you pick up your dictionary on the way here? God!
Look at my daily thesaurus.
God, that is so good.
But I really resonate with that. I think that
Thank you.
that I love the idea of you looking back every 6 months, because it's such a time frame. Those dips get spread out, right? You're looking at that chart going upwards. You know, as you look at it, if you keep zooming in, ups and downs. Of course. But it's the 6 month progress that matters.
We're going up. Yeah, the start and the finish, they're higher than the other, so that's what matters. As long as I finish higher than when I started, I've done well. Don't matter if I dip way below before. It's where I finish. It's where I finish. Just picking yourself up. That is the most important thing. It's getting back up and going back into the fight. It's anyone can get knocked down. I'll get knocked down. Anyone can. But it's what you do with that. It's walking through the storm. It's how you walk through the storm. If you walk through it, you're better. It's like when I say to my friends when they want to start gym, you go walk through that gym, you walk into them doors, you are already better than the 99% of people who don't. It don't matter if you walk right back out. You know, you've had that mental battle. That's a win.
Yeah.
And it's celebrating every single win. Don't matter how small, it don't matter. Because they say they compound over time. So 10 little wins works into 2 massive wins, you know? So for me, it's celebrating every little victory. And then you get a sense of achievement with that. So, you know, whether you're someone who suffers with anxiety and you can't get on public transport and one day you get on the bus, but it's only to the next stop and you get straight back off. You got on the bus. You know, that's a win. Massive win. Even you thinking about doing it is a win. So it's celebrating them small victories. That's what helps me pick myself up. Is allowing myself to go, yeah, you know what, I've done well there, and acknowledging that. You know, you're not. I think a lot of people would say it's egotistical to think great of yourself, when I think that's just been twisted by like narratives across generations. You know, like. It's okay to celebrate your wins and it's okay to be proud of yourself. Like if you are confident in who you are, that's called confidence, not arrogance. And I think sometimes they can get twisted. Yeah,
definitely. I think as long as it's authentic, which is something you want to be true to yourself, you said earlier. And I think as long as that's done, that confidence is done authentically. One of the big things of social media, right, is we're always comparing. And actually I think that is true also in the cancer world. Yeah, definitely. You know, my recovery's not as good as X, Y, and Z. Yeah, you know, there are people out there who achieve amazing things after cancer. There's people that achieve amazing things after whatever they've been through. But I wrote down a little note here when you were talking about everything you were just saying about those small wins. They're relative. And I think that's the important thing. you're celebrating you,
Yeah.
celebrate other people.
Oh, most definitely.
Other people don't need to be like, I can't do what X or Y can do. Like,
Comparison's the thief of joy, man. Yeah, most definitely. I think also in the cancer world, though, like going off that, I think a lot of times, as much as we like, so and so, they're 2 months ahead of me on their treatment, they're going to be in remission before me. Like, I've had them feelings, but also on the other side, like when you complete your treatment before other people, or you've got the all clear, and I've just said goodbye to Sandra, who's she's got about 2 weeks left, she's on her last drip, and then you quantify it, then and you're like, oh wow. Like, do I deserve this? And that's something that I was a big problem. Like, I didn't think I deserved to beat cancer. I didn't think, for all the characters that I met during my treatment, like, there's better people than me. And that's something that I battled with, is that I didn't deserve to win. I didn't deserve to get a second chance at life. Not when there was so many other great people in that room with me. And learning to turn that into a power that, no, like, I'm a voice for them now as well. And that's something, because losing people in the chemo suite is yeah, it's weird, man. It's really, really, really strange. Sorry, so I'm just thinking about people now. But yeah, it's really strange, man. And like, these people, you sit next to them for 8 hours a day, you really get to know someone, man. Especially when, like, God, as morbid as it is, they're dying. You've never met a realer person than someone who's dying. And let me tell
there's
you,
no small talk, is there?
They're so real. There's no bullshit. There's no bullshit. There's nothing to cut around. They're just so genuinely pure. And I like to think I'll take a part of them with me everywhere I go. It's a power. I got to know them. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. And I like to think that, we cross paths with people for a reason. Every person we collide with is an addition to your life if you use it as such. And yeah, man, met so many powerful people, and I love them all. And sorry. Yeah, man. So the questions of why me, I don't know. I can't answer that. But I know I'm going to take them all with me. And yeah, their power's right here where it's going to stay, definitely. So yeah, man. I know we all like to compare. We all like to. We always want to be better, like on that. But where we are, sometimes we should be grateful for it. And it's good to acknowledge that, definitely.
I would love to sit with that. I just think that was an amazing summation of how I'm sure a lot of people feel. That certainly, again, resonated with me. I just think that's such a powerful way to describe our interactions and how to frame a lot of the way people feel about survivor's guilt. I think the fact that all of this drives you forwards to help other people as well.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely.
What an amazing legacy of all those moments you've had with those people.
Yeah, man, that's really nice way of putting it. Yeah, man. Yeah. I feel very, sorry. I feel so privileged to have known the people that I know. And yeah, like, I've still got a WhatsApp message from, I'm not going to say her now, I don't want to. But yeah, there's this lovely woman, and we stayed in contact. Stayed in contact with my mum and me during the chemo, and I remember I was going to go in for my sorry.
That's all right.
We were talking the day before about how the next day was going to be my last treatment, and she was so looking forward to seeing me. We could celebrate, and I got there to finish up, and I asked her where she was, and she unfortunately she lost her battle. And, yeah, man, that really stuck with me, man. It really hurt. I was going in on a day of celebration.
Yeah.
But soon the reality sets in that it weren't much to celebrate on that day. So yeah, man. So people are incredible. I think interactions, whether they be negative or positive, there's something to take from that. Every single time, whether it's a passing by, if it's the weird awkward smile we do in Britain, like all of that, like it's a positive there. There's framework behind all of it, and I think if we can take that, as you said, frame it and acknowledge it in the moment, it's incredible, man. And we can learn a lot off each other, a lot. I think we're an incredible species, and if we put our mind to things, we are so capable, especially in groups. So pack mentality, man. Find your people.
And I think the cancer community are a very unique and amazing bunch for doing that.
We're a right weird bunch, aren't we?
Isn't it just? Well, it's just a whole lot of trauma.
Yeah.
bonding,
It's
isn't
trauma
it?
bonding. Yeah, no, but it's nice, man. It's nice having. I think that was like support groups during my treatment was honestly such a saving grace. Like, having people that you could just go into like the most like my mate Lewis, love Lewis. Yeah, man, like
They better listen to this.
if he doesn't, yeah, I'm gonna send him a very angry email. I'll use ChatGPT for the good words though. But yeah, no, like we bounce off each other by talking, like having the most darkest humour ever. Like, but it got us through it, man. And like, I'd have times where I'd just randomly break down. There wasn't any reason for the fact other than I just had trauma. Like there was no trigger. Sometimes I'd just break down. Like it'd become real for a moment, and we just get in contact with each other. Like I think we both admit now we've probably lost contact a lot more, but I think that's because we've succeeded in our cancer campaign, so to speak. That now it's like we served our purpose in each other's lives, and that's okay. And like, if we ever need each other, we always like bounce back in and connect up like through the times. Maybe not as consistent as we'd like, but
they're the real friends.
Man.
They're the real ones.
They're the real ones.
Need each other. You don't need to be texting 24.
No, you don't, man.
Just you pop into each other's lives, celebrate each other, the cheerleaders.
Yeah, man.
Crack on.
That's what you need. Sometimes you just need that, like. So yeah, as you said, the bestest friends are people you don't see for 10 years, and it's like yesterday when you see them. They're the real friends, man. Yeah, it's good to have that.
What on that? As you came out of, I imagine BBC Three, Go Hard or Go Home, catapulted you a little bit, and then I just want to celebrate some of the amazing work you did and why that meant so much to you. Was that a real part of your process? I mean, I think it is from what everything.
Yeah. No, it is. Honestly, I suppose coming off the show, you imagine things would be different, like. I don't know.
Let's not get into what you thought was going to be. Yeah, it's going to be BAFTAs.
I thought I was going to get drove here today, you know what I mean? But no, it's... there's a part of you, obviously, I worked so hard that I wanted something from the end of it, you know? I'm happy to say that. But maybe it didn't come with the things that I'd expected, but what did come from that was, like, a framework for me to be able to, like, message and directly speak to, like, cancer charities and give myself a platform within, like, that atmosphere. It's not ours, atmosphere, is it?
It's as good a word as any.
Yeah, atmosphere, man. Do it. But yeah, so that it made me be able to get into these like closed circles and have conversations with people that I wouldn't be able to usually do. And you know, I've worked with a fair few charities in my time, and I like whenever that comes through again, if they knock on my door, I'm always going to let them in and hear what they have to say, 100%. So for that, I'm most grateful. And say whatever I did or did not get out of Go Hard or Go Home, what I got emotionally and physically will outweigh anything I could possibly get from that. So either way, I didn't go on there for that. I got what I needed. I needed to change my life, and I've done that with flying colours. So for that, I'll always be grateful. And working side by side with like big charities, like it was a dream of mine at one point. Like I remember sitting down with my Macmillan nurse saying, "I'm gonna help you guys one day. I'm gonna return the favour," and I did, man. So I've worked with them, and full circle. They were helping me, and then I went and helped them, and that for me is, man. Yeah, cancer weren't for nothing. I've helped people. Even if it was one person, I've helped people, and that makes me happy, man.
That's brilliant. I think that's the best ethos. You change the world one person at a time, right?
Yeah, man. It is just one. That's what I mean. Yeah, like the people on TikTok, like if you've got a message to spread, I know a few people that are currently undergoing treatment. They're a bit apprehensive of sharing their journey. Share it, man. Share it. I tell them all the time, share it. If 20 people watch your video and one person resonates with that, or even just remotely clicks like some form of emotive like task to go and message their friend, anything, man, like it's so minuscule the change has to be that any impact is positive, man.
That's brilliant. What was doing social for you? Did it help you? Was it like a lot of people we've had on have talked about how it's almost like writing therapy, or to camera is like it's almost self-talk therapy.
Yeah, it's like Dear Diary vlog form.
Yeah,
definitely. People were asking the questions I wanted to talk about, and from there it just made it easier. Like if someone genuinely wanted to know the answer to that question, well, let me tell you. Yeah, I've got so much to talk about when it comes to cancer, so let me tell you.
Well, what were the things you were really passionate about, talking about? When you came out, what were the I just want people to know this.
Yeah.
And then what was your favourite question? Or favourite DM? Like, what's the thing that you've gone, holy Christ, that's either a genius question or what an amazing thing to send someone?
obviously the obvious answer is I've had like DMs from people saying, you know, like I've watched your videos, I had a lump, I've went and got checked out because of your videos, and they didn't have to go through the chemotherapy that I did. They because they got the lump and they made action straight away. They had it removed and they've gone with their life.
Yeah.
That to me, I've won because my torment was the chemotherapy.
Yeah.
Like having the operation, freezing sperm, I could do that tomorrow. I'm really good. It's the chemotherapy. It's there's so much more to just sitting in a chair, getting fed drugs. Like there's so much more to it. So preventing that, massive win.
Yeah.
So I'll share that every single time. Best question I always used to love answering it is how to check your bollocks, man, and how often you should do it. That was my main message: is check. Not be scared to get your knob out in front of a doctor. They really don't. They do not care. They don't care about the shape. You know what I mean? I'm not exactly proud. Right? You know what I mean? I wouldn't show it off to the world, but I did to the doctor. You know, they weren't impressed either. But
they couldn't care less. That's the important thing. Yeah.
So, yeah, that was my main thing. That it's such a stigma about like getting your privates out in front of like a health professional.
Yeah.
And yeah, learning how like now I go into the doctor. Have a look, mate. Go on in and out.
It's that thing though, isn't it? It's the if you can do that, you can do it. And I think this is we're at the extreme end of the health awareness scale, right?
Yeah,
Because
most definitely.
Do you know what I mean? If you can get your privates out in front of a doctor,
man.
you can do all the rest. And I'm like, let's get you
I
over
love
this hurdle.
that.
So everything else
that.
is like so nonchalant. Like, oh, I found a lump, or I've got a wart, or I've got a mole that's. You're like, who cares if it's on your ass after you got your balls out? Like. It's like, yeah, but you know, and as you get older,
true.
finger up the arse. Like we're all going to have it.
I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it, man. I've got the Vaseline and gloves at home waiting. Here you go, Doc.
My own private stash.
Here's some I made earlier.
But you know, it's not going to be, and that's why I think what the testicular, where we sit, is so extreme. Like if we can break all that stuff, the rest is gravy.
And it goes down to that the barriers breaking, putting yourself in uncomfortable situations. You will thrive.
Yeah.
You will thrive. There is not a situation I can think of other than the pure extremes where you put yourself in an uncomfortable situation within reason that you won't prosper from it.
Yeah.
There is so many good things about like doing something that would make you cringe, make you just feel horrible as a person. Walking out and going, that's shit all right. Like, I don't care.
No.
And then that it's
your day carries on, doctor's day carries on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He might have to wash his hands, but that's
Yeah, they do wear gloves. Just in case anyone's worried. But you know, and then that breaks down that barrier. Once you've done that, go and have an ultrasound. Not that scary, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, there's a bit of goop. You know, it's a bit annoying, isn't there? Like they're quite, but they give you some tissues.
I'll tell you what, it actually feels quite nice, the ultrasound gel. So if that's any
it's just quite cold, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, that's
it was. Yeah, it was cold. His hands were warm.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I think it is. It's brilliant. That advocacy piece, doing it, and you know what was that moment when the first person said, "I found a lump," and what was that like for you?
I can specifically remember it. I just got out of the shower. I was in my bath towel in my room. I literally went into the fetal position and cried for about half an hour. Sounds mad, but yeah, that is genuine. I remember it vividly.
Yeah.
Like it was that snap. Like this is working. This has helped someone. Like all that, like 9 months of like diaries and video diaries, because a lot of my footage I'd not posted. I started my TikTok journey after my treatment,
right?
So it wasn't as much like that's when I was in like the post chemo and I was in a real bad place. That's when it picked me up. That was something that it gave me a purpose during all the COVID, all that terrible stuff. I was helping people.
Yeah.
So even though I was stuck inside, I was still making a difference, and I think that's. If it wasn't for that, I think it helped save my life, definitely. I think it kept my grips on the earth.
What was the catalyst for starting content? Because that's quite a big thing to just go, I'm going to start, like just getting over the cringe factor of posting a video. Do you know what I mean? What sparked that? Had you seen other people or?
Yeah, I did. It's actually my friend Lewis, who I spoke earlier about. He used to do the same as me. And I've seen one of his videos and we got in contact talking and he was just like, why don't you give it a go? And I was like, well, I've got like 6 months of me just crying. It's probably like could make something out of this, and I did. That's exactly what I did. I used all my footage, made it raw. I made it so people could understand what I was actually going through or went through. what like going and waiting for a CT scan looks like so just showing people what to walk into, so that when they did, it was less alien. Because there's obviously it's daunting.
Yeah.
Obviously, that no one is taking that away. It is obviously a scary thing to do. But just in my head, opening the door on that, so you could just have a little peek in, makes you more willing to step through the doorway. That's what I found.
There's something we talk to our community. It's really interesting. We talk to our community all the time, and actually, TikTok influencers, for want of a better phrase, are able to do that better than charities are.
Yeah.
So much better. It's so reading a webpage of what is a CT scan compared to a person that's been through it.
Yeah.
Just with some stock images or whatever in the background. Like,
yeah, that's it.
It just it's
I think it's a lot more personal, right?
Yeah.
I think especially when it's like comes from a board.
Yeah.
It just there's no personal touch there. There's no direct. And I think with TikTok and with these videos, it does. There's like a level of like two-way communication. It's not just one way. It's not just you just like taking in information. They can take in the information and they can personally ask me more questions from that.
Yeah.
And I think that's what probably invites more people to understand it, is because they have the opportunity.
I think we as charities signpost to, like we educate.
Yeah, but I think you have to. I think you have to though. I think the trouble is it's easy to say, I don't know, these are the 5 signs to church.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, it's easy just to like go, swipe past it. But like that is a genuine bit of knowledge that like I needed as well. Like I needed that knowledge to be able to pass it on to people. So whether I've just took that information to pass it down, it's still integral. It still needs to be known. So I think especially what you guys are doing is incredible.
Well, thank you. I'll let Amber up.
Well, thank you.
It's not me. I don't do anything. Yeah, amazing. I mean, is there any organisations, just before we get to the 5 quick-fire questions, are there any organisations, any support groups, any people like your friend, anyone you'd shout out people to go and check out, things that really helped you during that time?
Wow, God. We got about 45 minutes for you to list it out. Is that all right? No, the main ones, Click Sergeant, absolutely amazing. They're Leicestershire based.
Working nationally.
Yeah, they did work there, sorry. Macmillan, incredible.
They fund this, so I'm very... We love
yeah, big up Macmillan. God, how long you got? Andy Ball Cancer Trust, a very small cancer charity in Northampton. Their whole thing was buying gifts for people undergoing like cancer treatment, just to make it a little bit lighter on them. They gave me a PlayStation VR. It was actually incredible. So yeah, they're incredible guys. Just anyone who's willing to listen, thank you to them. Friends, family, support groups, they can all be found anywhere. I found for me it was just going online searching. I didn't have any specific groups that I went into. It's you can't develop them yourself if you want to, but they are there to be accessed. So all you got to do is search for it. That's it.
Brilliant. I was trying to surmise via my crazy sprawling notes, sort of everything that we've been through. But I mean,
I can see the page. It does look like a drop lasagna, doesn't it?
Yeah, it just does. Yeah. I just want to thank you for your honesty and your vulnerability. Like, I can tell that the emotion is right there, and I think that's part of your superpower. Yeah, I can see that drives you forwards, and I know people listening will resonate that, because I will overshare now. But I did a talk recently, and I was talking about it, and I was looking at a nurse from a hospice that helped my brother, and I just broke in front of a group of people.
It's easily done, my brother.
And I just, there's the moment when you feel embarrassed, and you're like, oh my God, who cares? This is part of my story. Yeah. Like you said, when you were talking, and I really try not to get emotional because this is not about, when you were talking about taking that power of taking people's stories with you, that resonated so hard with me. So thank you for your insights for all of that.
I love you, my brother, man. I love you.
I have loved this so much. I'm so grateful for your time. And you said something earlier when we began. You said, I felt like when I was affected by cancer, I felt like I regressed and that I was fragile and that everyone was walking on eggshells. And I can see, and I'm sure everyone else listening and watching can see, that you have rebuilt yourself, shell by little bit of shell, and you've built the calluses up. And the fact that you've got this drive to make yourself better and to help other people is incredibly admirable. So
Thank you so much,
you
brother.
should be proud of who you are.
I am. Thank you
think
so
that's
much.
amazing.
That's such a lovely thing to say. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. We will scooch over to the 5 quick fire questions, if that's right.
Throw them at me. Just put them all in my face.
I don't think you've had these, have
Smush
you?
them, no.
All right, brilliant.
Smush
Right.
them around me. Let's go.
Number 1, what advice would you give to someone who's worried they might have cancer?
Go to the doctors. Go to the doctors. Honestly, I cannot express that enough. Just go to the doctors. I know it's scary. I know it's horrible. I can't tell you what to do. They will. They will. No one around you can help you other than the doctors. I know that is horrible. It's scary, but just go to the doctors. Make that change. Make the plunge, and I promise you it'll be the best thing you've ever done. The day I found out I had cancer is the day that I breathed for the first time having the lump. So if that is anything I can learn from that, go get it checked out.
I think that is brilliant advice. Number 2, what was the most impactful thing someone did for you after your diagnosis?
God, there's such a plethora. There's so many amazing things people did for me. But if I'm just going to go off one person, my mate Mitch, he lives in Wolverhampton. He came all the way down to Northampton, and he just sat on my bed for about 3-4 hours and just spoke to me. And it was such a small gesture, but to me it was massive. So I'll be forever grateful for that, Mitch. Thank you very much. And that's something that stays with me for a long time. I think it will.
I love that. I also love how many of your friends are getting shout outs.
I love that, man. You better share it.
Number 3 is, what's the worst thing someone said to you about having cancer?
Oh, God, I could do another name drop, but I won't do that. I was basically told, someone had quantified my cancer for me and told me, because what I was going through was nothing compared to other cancer survivors, that I needed to get a grips. So I just asked them if they was jealous that I had cancer, and they didn't. It's not something that I picked. It's not something that I chose. I got cancer. I beat cancer. If it's a story that I can tell, and it's a story that needs to be told. So get fucked. Yeah, basically, quite frankly.
Love that. Absolutely love it. Number 4, what advice would you give to someone recently diagnosed with cancer?
Recently diagnosed, firstly, I just want to say I'm very, very sorry. That'd be my first thing. Best bit of advice I can give you is, if you have a good support network, like friends, family, work colleagues, anyone that you consider a tight group that can keep you in check, very important. Having someone that can listen. Just even being around the amount of times that me and Mum just sat in a dark room and just didn't speak for 2 hours, but her presence was everything. So yeah, presence in other people, get other people around you. That's my biggest bit of advice. I'm very sorry. Do your job. You've got one job to do. Let everyone else do the rest. That's my advice.
Fantastic. And lastly, what is the biggest lesson you've learned from having cancer?
God, life is so precious. Life can be taken from us in an absolute heartbeat. It rips apart families. It rips apart everyone who knows you. So it's very easy to say be grateful, but be bloody grateful. Every day you wake up and get to breathe is a day that is a privilege, and you need to take it by the balls, and just face every day as it's your last, because it could be. And I know that's very cliche, but it's very, very true. And I think if you want anything out of life, it is to enjoy it by living in the moment.
Well, I am incredibly grateful to have been in this moment with you.
Oh,
I think we can leave the podcast there. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a review and follow us on social media at Thrive Against Cancer. And be sure to check out our other episodes wherever you listen to your podcasts and on YouTube. If you want to help support our mission to give a voice to the cancer community, please contact us or visit our website to learn more at thriveagainstcancer.co.uk.